It's a truth I kept buried for years because I was so afraid no one would believe me. It all began in Seattle, Washington, the city of gray skies, coffee breath, and people who rush through life like they're running from something. I had just turned 30, working as a marketing analyst downtown, and I thought I was finally ready for someone stable, someone real, someone who wouldn't break me the way my past had. He was funny, charming, with that casual American politeness that makes you feel seen, even if it's just for a moment. He talked about hiking, STARTUP culture, and his mum-'s Sunday dinners like he was painting a version of his life he wanted me to step into. Within weeks, he was everywhere in my kitchen cooking breakfast, in my office dropping off lunches, in my world like he'd always been there. But, looking back, I realize now that the most dangerous people aren't the ones who scream or lie openly. They're the ones who look perfect while hiding everything. I started noticing strange things, small, tiny things that most women in the US ignore because society teaches us to be cool, chill, and unbothered. He'd never let me visit his apartment, always claiming it was too messy. He always shut his laptop the moment I walked by. His phone never, ever left his pocket, and whenever I casually asked about his past relationships, his answers were perfectly crafted, maybe a little too perfect, like he'd rehearsed them for an audience. But the real trouble began the night he left his jacket at my place. I was just cleaning the living room when his phone slipped out of the inside pocket and locked. I swear I didn't mean to look, but when the screen lit up, a message preview flashed across the top. It said, "She doesn't know, right, Elle?" My heart slammed against my ribs. Who was Elle, and what didn't I know? I confronted Evan the next morning, and he gaslit me so convincingly that I felt guilty for even breathing. I apologized for snooping. I apologized for doubting him. I apologized for having instincts. Then the real twist came during Thanksgiving weekend. I had invited Evan to fly with me to New York to meet my parents. He said he had urgent work that Sunday while scrolling through Instagram. My blood froze because I saw him tagged in a photo by someone named Lindsay. The caption read, "He finally met my family." My vision blurred. My hands trembled as I clicked her profile. I felt my knees go weak. I couldn't breathe. And if you're watching this, listen to me very carefully. When something feels off, it is off. Nothing. That night, when he finally showed up at my apartment, I could smell the lie on his skin. His sweatshirt wasn't even his, it was hers. I looked him dead in the eye and asked, "Who is Lindsay?" And he said the 7 words that broke something inside me forever. "She thinks I am her boyfriend, but I'm not." I stared at him, shocked beyond words, claimed she was obsessed, that she was delusional, that he'd been trying to slowly distance himself. But then why did her entire family think he was her man? Why were there photos of him hugging her mum? Why was he wearing matching outfits with her in half the pictures? But the worst part, I didn't even know the darkest truth yet. Because what I discovered next didn't just break my heart, it shattered my faith in people. And if you're still here, stay with me, because the truth I uncovered will leave you questioning every relationship you've ever had. I reached out to Lindsay, not with anger, not with accusations, just a simple message. Can we talk? I think we both deserve the truth. She agreed instantly, which told me everything I needed to know. She wasn't the villain. She was just as blind as I was. We met at a Starbucks in downtown Seattle. She looked nervous, her eyes swollen from crying, holding her latte like it was the only thing keeping her steady. When I told her I had been dating Evan for almost a year, her face went white. She whispered, "He told me you were his crazy ex who couldn't move on." That's when we pulled out our phones and compared timelines, photos, dates, texts. Another, and another. Evan wasn't just dating 2 women, he was dating 5. All in Seattle, all with similar stories, all fed the same lies, all manipulated into believing they were special, different, the one. He kept a spreadsheet, yes, an actual, digital spreadsheet, detailing our schedules, our birthdays, our preferences, how often he saw each of us, and a list of excuses for why he couldn't meet on certain days. It was a calculated, cold, logistical operation. When we finally confronted him together, all 5 of us, the mask fell off. There was no argument, no shouting. He just confessed in a cold, emotionless voice that he liked being needed, that juggling multiple women made him feel important in a world where he otherwise felt small. There was no remorse, no guilt, just emptiness. And that S, when it hit me, the real truth about my last relationship wasn't that he cheated, was that he never loved anyone, not even himself. Kind of heartbreak that doesn't scream, it sinks deep into your bones. For weeks, I struggled to sleep. It was devastating. But healing came slowly through therapy, through long walks along the waterfront, through journaling, through nights crying on my best friend's couch, through rediscovering what I wanted, who I was without the illusion of his love. And validation from a broken person is just borrowed air. And don't let loneliness convince you to settle for someone who uses love like a mask. If you want more real-life relationship stories that expose the hard truths and help you avoid this kind of heartbreak, hit that subscribe button now, because the next story we share might just save you from the next Evan.